Hey everyone. Okay, so a lot of my friends have been bitching and moaning about me not doing like an update vlog thing, whatever, but you have to cut me some slack. I've been in school, I've had a lot of shit to do. I did make a promise that I would make a video about my recent coming out experience with my father. So that's what I'm here to talk about today. I also have a couple of books that I wanted to talk about and discuss because I know a lot of you guys like to listen to me talk about books or whatever. What happened was, my dad had heard about a position at the plant that he works at that it involves like a lot of data analysis, and that's what I'm going to school for. I'm a mathematics statistics double major. So he was like, okay, well this job is like right up your alley, and I was like, okay, that's cool. So I had recently made my resume for a scholarship or something that I was applying for. My dad came across it and figured, oh, okay, well this is his resume, this is what I'm going to give to like the guy who wants to interview me for the job, for the position. On the resume, it had organizations that I was a part of in college, and I am a volunteer at the LGBTQ Student Resource Center on campus, and I'm also a member of Pride Student Union, which are both like gay affiliated, of course, organizations. My dad doesn't really know anything about like my college life, so I figured that it would be safe for me to put it on this resume for that scholarship. But he found it, and he went online and he did some research, and he found out that I was a part of them. And he made like this big to-do, called my mother, asked why I was a part of these organizations. If you had watched my coming out story, I mentioned that I did not come out to him up until that point, but I thought that he had an idea. Maybe he was just in denial this whole time. I'm not really sure like what was going through his head, but whenever he did find out, my mom was like, okay, well, just come out, just make a clean job of it, just go ahead and tell him. And I thought that was the best idea also. And I wasn't expecting him to have a great reaction by any means, but I go to his house. I go to my parents' house, and my mom's not there. It's just him, and he's like cutting meat. So I'm immediately nervous. I'm like, okay, can you like put down the knife for a second so I can tell you something? You can tell like something's bothering him. I can just tell by the way he was acting that something was bothering him. And he says, okay, your mom says that you and I need to have a talk. And I said, yeah. And then I waited like 10 minutes, and I was just like sitting there like building up the courage to tell him. And I said, Dad, I'm gay. And then he said, you have to understand that this is an embarrassment for me. I'm embarrassed to be your father now. I'm ashamed to be your father. And I said, okay. And he says, okay, so what do you think of it? How do you view your problem? I'm like, first of all, it's not a problem. I see it as a trait. I see it as like being a part of me. I'm not being a homosexual is just a part of who I am. It doesn't define me. I see it as like being having green eyes or having brown hair or something. He's like, no, it's more than that, it's more than that, you don't know what you're talking about. He says that you'll never succeed in life now because you're a gay guy, blah 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 blah. And I was just like sitting there kind of laying down, taking my beating. He wanted me to wait until my mom got home because my mother and I had agreed that it was the best idea to not let him feel like he was the last person to find out, which he kind of was. So he was like, okay, I want you to come out to your mother too. And I was like, okay, whatever, fine. So we waited until she got home, and whenever she got home, I said, Mom, I have something to tell you, I'm gay. Mom's like, okay, you're still my son, I still love you. And my dad was sitting right there. My mom looks at him and says, don't you have anything to say to him? And my dad says, no, I have nothing to say to him. And he got up and he went back in the house, and then my mom just died. She dissolved on the spot and says, I don't give a shit what that man has to say. You're my son, you will always be my son, I always love you, blah blah blah. But yeah, that was like the whole fiasco with me coming out to my dad. Sucky story, but hey, I mean, what can you do, right? On a better note, let's just switch tracks entirely and talk about books, shall we? Recently, I have been reading My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. I don't know how to say your last name. Jodi P. I have beaten the shit out of this book. Like, I usually take good care of my books, but I have just like crumpled all the pages in this or whatever. Normally, I don't like books that are like really geared towards women. There's a lot of like feminism in this book. You can tell like it's a lot about the women in the family and like the trials and tribulations they go through. For it being a more feministic type of book, I really enjoy it. I love the story. I don't particularly love how it's written, I guess I would have to say. I'm still reading the Best American Short Stories, but like I said before, this is kind of a book that you don't just like sit down and read. This is kind of like something you read over a long period of time, and I'm really loving this. This is just like the best idea ever. If you guys have not gone out to get any of these books, I highly recommend it. It's well worth the read. But that's it. I've already made this way too long, so I guess I will talk to you peeps later. I'll try to post more videos more often. Christmas break will be coming up, so I'll have more time. The semester is drawing to a close, so I have to get ready for that. But it was nice talking to you guys. Hopefully I'll talk to you guys more frequently in the future. I'm not promising anything though. But until later, I'll talk to you later. Bye!